I was in Japan and I had a deja vu. I thought I was in Taiwan. This is nannuoshan. I'm Gabriele. You know when you get that feeling in your belly, in your chest, that you see something for the first time and you think, yes, that's the right thing, that's the one I want? Well, this is what happened to me with this very tea here. Not at the first glance, but the first time that actually I smell it and I tasted it. It's a Japanese tea, an Oolong tea. I was traveling in Japan and I published that video already, and I ended up in this tea farm where they don't use any fertilizers, they don't use any pesticides, and that's actually the reason why they attracted me. I wanted to find out what type of senchas they have and also what type of genmaicha they do. But at a certain point, they showed me this tea that doesn't look as really a Japanese green tea or a genmaicha, nothing like that. Very coarse leaves. It's really big, a little bit yellowish and brownish, beautiful in a way. And they emanate a quite strong and very, very, very fresh fragrance. When he told me that, and I start, Taiwan tea, really Taiwan tea, I'll tell you more about that in a moment, 5 gram and 5 gram of the Yabukita Oolong. And we start brewing then while I tell you the story. So, when he told me that he does Oolong, I was a little bit skeptical because, well, just because I burned my fingers already a few times, if someone is producing Oolong in a country that is not China and Taiwan, to my experience, the results are rarely acceptable, let's say. But then he also explained that he went to Taiwan to learn the tea processing, the Oolong tea processing. And what I found really incredible is that he's actually using Yabukita. This tea is done with the Japanese cultivar. It's the most widespread cultivar in Japan. At least 3 out of 4 tea plants in Japan are Yabukita, 75% of the plants, but it is a cultivar that was developed and still today is used for green tea. Yeah, and I never seen a successful green tea cultivar turning out to be a very successful also Oolong cultivar. Usually you have different type of plants for what you want to achieve with the tea. And I tasted it, and while traveling, you don't have a lot of time. And the first thing I thought really is really good. It reminds me Taiwanese oolong. I want to have it. Unfortunately, the farmer also wanted to keep it, but we found a deal, and I got a little bit of stuff along with me. And the tea by now is available online. You can check it out, and the impression was simply very similar to a fairly good Taiwanese oolong. All of that. Sometimes you describe the tea in many, many different ways, but sometimes you don't need a lot, right? It's just, you know it. You've tasted so many Taiwanese tea. But at that time, my palate was actually twisted to other type of tea in those days. And now I thought, let's do a comparison. So I took 2 2025 spring Oolong tea, one from Taiwan and one from Japan. And also concerning this one, I didn't pick up, a second choice or so. I looked into all the teas that I tasted this year, and from this particular farmer, I like the farmer. He's a scholar, a student of Atom, and he actually was traveling in Germany some time ago and brought me some samples. And the interesting aspect about this tea, it was ranked by me blind. I always taste this tea blind fairly well. So in my scala, my range, I go from 1, or if you want 0, to 10. And 6 is my expectation. 6 is not really, you know, just, it's not bad just because it's there in the middle. For me, a tea that achieves 6 is a tea that I consider drinking. You know, is not a tea that surprises me, but or excessively surprises me, but is a fairly consistent tea. This one scored 6.5. You might think not that much, but I have to tell you that I don't give 7 very often. And in fact, from all the teas I got this year from this farmer, maybe 5, 6 teas, this is the one that scored the best. And we're speaking about good oolong. So I want now to see not only the analogies, of course there are two different cultivar, Yabukita we said, this is BU. I won't find any Yabukita Oolong in Taiwan. But I also want to understand, is this really at that level? Or I was a little bit misled when I was there. So I will start with our reference, the BU. It's really good. I think today I would give it a 7. I tasted it back in spring, but it really makes me thinking I want to drink it more and more. Fairly fresh, but very, very sweet. Very, very, very sweet. Like a sugar candy. And rather floral as well, yeah. Oof. Should have taken some bread, because with this aromatic tea you get a lot in your mouth. Three things pop to my mind. Fresher, thinner, floral. So it is much lighter. I don't know if it is also because I brew it shorter. I brewed this one longer because it is ball rolled, while this is open leaf. But it's certainly a little bit of a thinner tea. So this is bolder and thicker in your mouth. This is more refreshing. But yeah, now I'm mixing up two things. It is lighter in body, but at the same time also fresher. You get more fresh sensation in your mouth, and it's both floral in a way, both floral. Yeah. Honestly, if you have the tea, try yourself. Taste it blind, maybe blind meaning you have other teas and you don't know which one you're drinking, if you have the possibility, and try to pick the one that is actually, if you try with that with 3 or 4 Taiwan Oolong, try to pick the one that is not the Taiwan Oolong. It's difficult. Yeah, I'm still convinced that he did really a good job, and you can definitely tell that it is the processing that was done in a Taiwan-like fashion. Actually, this tea is even better than many Taiwanese oolong you can get in China. Just because it's not about going to Taiwan and you find good tea. The level is quite high, but it's not so easy to find people that really are good at processing it and don't make it too green. Yeah, these are both, but you can see by the color, they are not too green. They're fairly well oxidized. While I speak, I warm up the water, and then I push it a little bit more. So, what can I say? I think it was a good catch. In terms of price, it's somewhere there in between. It's not as cheap as the most average Mingjian Taiwan Oolong, but it doesn't fetch either prices as high as fancy Taiwan high mountain tea. So it's somewhere there in between. 100 degrees water, boiling water for both. I didn't mention that, but I didn't mention because I even didn't think about that. There is zero bitterness. There is no bitterness whatsoever in neither of the two, just pure sweetness. We didn't have a lot of the tea. You can see actually we were packing the tea. I think we recorded it when we packed the tea. We went with him in his storage room, and a portion he wanted to keep it for himself, but everything that was meant for sale we were able to get because we made a little deal. And it's just a few kilo. Sometimes you ask yourself, right, when you travel as a tea merchant, do I really want to buy the tea because it's a little quantity, right? And all this effort, you have to do the video, which is fun, but you have to make the product page description, which is less fun because honestly it's more fun interacting with the camera and knowing that there is someone watching, and all the effort of all the logistic and so on. So it's but in this case I thought, you know, when I will get again the same opportunity, right? So I assume that this guy will continue doing this tea because he's really well succeeded in it. And the question is if it's just luck and next year he won't be able to do the same, or if he will be consistent over the years. I also wonder if I would be a Taiwanese farmer, do I really want to tell how to do proper oolong to a Japanese? I mean, not that Japan can really catch up very quickly with Taiwan, of course, in terms of oolong. So maybe they don't see each other as competitor, but also ask myself where he found that contact, right? He doesn't speak any Chinese, so he probably went there with a translator, or they were just speaking English. Well, not really, because he was not able to speak English to me. So he doesn't speak either English. Not sure. The leaves, well, you see that the leaves of the Yabukita are a little bit greener, for sure. But you can see very well oxidation on the leaves. Yeah, not only at the rim, but also in the center of the leaves. And in terms of roasting, I don't smell any roasting in either. So they were just dried, but not really intentionally roasted. It's very milky now. If you give me this tea, I would bet it comes from Taiwan, and I would put my hand on Jinshuan. That's, I think, also the impression I got when I was in Japan. But now it's very clear. If you push a little bit, since there is no bitterness, don't be afraid. Give this tea to your guests that are not used to good tea, because you know, when people are not used to, even today people drink coffee without sugar, matcha that are very bitter. They drink proper tea and they say, oh, it's bitter, because they have to get used to that bitterness. Here you avoid that problem and they get just flavor aromatics. Yeah, it's white flowers, buttery, milky. It really like a milky oolong. Yeah, this is consistent with the previous one. Yeah, this is guys, all I wanted to share, and I wanted to do this comparison in front of the camera to see what I would get, and yes, this tea would trick me. I would put my hand on fire blind that this tea comes from Taiwan. Check it out and let me know if you get the same impression. See you next time. Bye bye.